Hello guys, it's David here again. I hope you guys are having a fantastic beginning of the summer. It's been a pretty crazy couple of months. There was the Inter-Korean Summit, and just yesterday, Kim Jong-un and Trump met for the first time. And the reason why I'm making this video is the same reason why I made all my other videos, is I was watching something or, following a certain event on the news, and I got angry. This time around, I was following maybe 5 or 6 different live streams on YouTube of the summit, and just the amount of pure ignorance and the commentators following the subject was just crazy. So the reason why I'm making this video is because there were a lot of lies during this entire process that were flying around, undebated, unchecked. Let's first list some of them and let's talk about them individually. This is probably the biggest one. North Korea has lied to the world so many times before, how can we trust them now? North Korea has done nothing irreversible or verifiable, so again, how can we trust them? Kim Jong-un's #1 priority in all this is regime security and making sure he stays in power. And finally, North Korea only came to the negotiating table because of Trump's maximum pressure campaign. Of course, there are some more that you can identify, but these are really the core lies. Okay, so let's talk about the first one. North Korea not being trustworthy, and how can we trust that they will do the right thing this time around?
North Koreans have proven untrustworthy before.
They will not be truthful just because they want to be truthful.
I don't trust North Korea.
You can't just trust the North Koreans.
Now, Trump has been talking a great deal about a new age of prosperity and peace for the North Korean people. And also that Kim Jong-un understands it, Kim Jong-un is open to it, as if him or his father or his grandfather wasn't open to the idea before. And Trump mentions that if such time is to come, things must be done differently from the past failed US-Korean attempts to negotiate. And he's completely right. But it's the US, not North Korea, that needs to stop sabotaging the negotiations. Yes, it has been the US, not North Korea, that's been lying to the world. And in my last video, I talked about the history of how North Korea's been trying to denuclearize and negotiate with the US, but how historically speaking, the US has never kept its end of the bargain. If you didn't watch that video, I strongly recommend you guys go watch it. I think it's great information. And then you guys can come back to this video. For this video, I won't draw out the same timeline that I did. Instead, I want to offer a logical argument on why it makes no sense for North Korea to trick the world constantly. Now, North Korea had 2 options, the same 2 options for the last 70 years. One is either hold on to nuclear power and maintain a hostile relationship with the United States and thereby prolonging the Korean War, or give up nuclear weapons in exchange for a normalized relationship with the United States and therefore a security from an US invasion. But in order to understand what's the obvious answer for North Korea, we first have to acknowledge why North Koreans even want nuclear weapons in the first place. And before I would have to talk for, a good 5 minutes on how North Korea wants self-defense, but even the Western media nowadays is catching up to the idea that, North Korea didn't spend decades and billions of dollars to bomb LA once and then get themselves destroyed. So the whole idea that, North Koreans are crazy and they want nuclear bombs to kill everyone was never a sustainable idea, and it was bound to trip on its own legs at one point. Okay, so with that established, in essence, North Korea has not been pursuing a nuclear program for power and influence on the global scale like the US does, but for rather a bargaining chip, a powerful bargaining chip that will make the US take them seriously in any negotiations. Okay, so with that in mind, let's take a look at the 2 choices again. 1 or 2. Each and every time it's going to be the second one because North Korea's endgame has never been obtaining and keeping on nuclear power. It's always been security and assurance that the US won't invade them. And having nuclear weapons was just part of the process for that. So yeah, it makes no sense for North Korea to sabotage these deals because it's just not in their own interest. But it does make sense for the US to sabotage these deals that they make with North Korea. Why? The US enjoys having tens of thousands of troops in South Korea and in Japan. It's very near China and Russia. To give you some perspective, when Moon Jae-in and Kim Jong-un met last April, the US weapons industry went down in $10 billion in worth. Just like how when the US attacked Syria last April, the weapons industry went up $10 billion. So yeah, if this new agreement between Kim Jong-un and Trump is going to work, it's gonna have to be the US that follows through and sheds its old habit of sabotaging its own negotiations. Another great example is the Iran deal. The US forced new conditions after the deal was signed, and now the US pulled out of the deal altogether. Second lie, North Korea has done nothing irreversible or verifiable. When North Korea said it would cease all missile testing back in November, what happened? The missile testing stopped. When North Korea said it would destroy its nuclear testing facility, what happened? The nuclear facility got destroyed. When North Korea said it would release its American prisoners, what happened? The prisoners got released. I'm sorry, so which one of these is not irreversible or verifiable? Third, Kim Jong-un's #1 priority is making sure he stays in power.
Let's face it,
all Kim Jong-un is interested in is what is good for Kim Jong-un.
They're on the cusp of collapsing as a regime, and certainly economically, which is one of the reasons why he's pushing for this.
I know this.
And for this, I really only have to ask one question. What in the world is Kim Jong-un gaining or have been gaining by being America's enemy? Like, what is he actually gaining practically? Is he somehow becoming rich through all this? Has he become somewhat of a global power? No, of course not. Rather, history actually shows us that when a selfish leader or dictator just wants money and power in their country, they go to the dominant force of the world, like the United States. So in exchange for US control over their country, now they get to remain in power. They get to have money. They get to have, women or treasure or what have you. So really, if Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il, Kim Il-sung wanted just money and power, the worst thing they could possibly do is be a socialist leader that is going against the United States. So Kim Jong-un is not doing this to maintain his godlike status or king of the world status. No, he's doing this to protect his people. And you already know if this was any other country, people would think about it logically or reasonably, but no. But no, because it's North Korea, all reasonable or rational thought is out the window, and it's, oh no, that brutal dictator just wants to stay in power. No argument. And finally, North Korea came to the table because of Trump's maximum pressure sanctions campaign.
And we believe overall that the pressure campaign is working.
Well, look, what we know is that the maximum pressure campaign has clearly been effective.
No, not true at all. And I'm sorry, was that a joke? Trump getting the Nobel Peace Prize for the sanctions? The same sanctions that hurt schools, hospitals, and the entire people in North Korea? So the idea is the United States pressured North Korea economically so hard that they had to, surrender and come to the negotiating table. But actually, North Korea is doing better than ever. The economy under Kim Jong-un has been growing faster than ever. As in, despite being the most sanctioned people on earth, the Koreans in the north have been working together as one people to create a sustainable and self-reliant country for their own. The World Food Program, which is a branch of the UN, verified that there is no starvation in North Korea. And the CIA says North Korea has a 100% literacy rate. Not to mention the free healthcare and education and zero homeless rate in North Korea. So yeah, a couple months of maximum pressure sanctions are not gonna break the will and determination of the Korean people. And that's the video, guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching to what I wanted to share. I'm actually going to South Korea this summer, and I'll be working on a project, with a lot of amazing people. So please stay tuned and make sure to watch it when it's out. So again, thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.